Welcome back to Business Today. The tourism and hospitality sector was hit hardest by the COVID-19 pandemic, leading to the closure of hotels and massive job losses. But as we approach the holiday season, the sector is roaring back to life with global and local travel restrictions having already eased off. Jimmy Mbogo was in Diani, Kwale County for a spot check and joins us with more on what the sector players are doing to prepare for the festive season.
Indeed, the festive season is back again, and with us this time we expect a lot of celebrations to be going on. Unlike the last 2 years that have seen the COVID pandemic, we have seen people complaining about not having enough liquidity to be able to go out and enjoy. And as you can tell, I'm the first one at the beach this time. And as you would expect, this is a public beach now. In a couple of days, there will be a lot of activities here. Now, we are in Diani. This is one of the areas in the country that has been acknowledged for having very fine beaches across the Kenyan coast. Now, I want to know, first of all, are we prepared for this festive season? Are hotels ready to receive their guests? And what measures have they put in place? And you will remember that one of the things that has come out in the recent past is a lot of airlines have been looking to bring their passengers directly to the Kenyan coast. And to help me with this conversation, I am joined by Hasnain Nurali, who is the CEO and Managing Director of that is Pride Inn Group of Hotels. And one of the things that they have also done is launch one of their products, right? Relaunched rather one of their hotels here in Diani, and he will be explaining to us about that. But at the same time, he wears a very different hat as the vice chair of the Kenya Coastal Tourism Association, and that's where we want to start this conversation. But Hasnain, thank you so much for speaking to KTN. Now, one of the things that we really want to understand is we have seen a lot of issues in the last few years. This is one of the sectors that was hard hit by the COVID pandemic. How is the recovery so far?
So first, I would say that yes, the past two and a half years have been extremely difficult for the hospitality industry, and at the moment, in the past 1 year, the recovery has been really great. It's been really picking up, and all thanks to the domestic tourism. A lot of hotels have been supported by domestic tourism and domestic MICE facilities, which has really kept the hotels ongoing. And we see even this year during December, during the festive season, during the December festive season, we see a lot of domestic tourism coming in. In fact, as we speak, we have majority of our beach resorts already at 80% occupancies. And a lot of our guests are domestic tourism. Now, we see the recovery keeping on going on, all right, with more flights coming in, especially with the international flights and local flights. Yeah. And the connectivity from Nairobi into Mombasa and from the rest of the Kenya into Mombasa is amazing. It's great at the moment.
A lot of stakeholders in this sector are reinvesting, and you are one of them. And maybe you can just tell us, is this a positivity or optimism in the sectors?
Yes, there is full optimism. I personally believe that we have seen the worst. It can't get worse than that. All right, and if as hoteliers and as the tourism industry, if we have survived the worst, now it's time to prepare for the big days coming in, for which we are very optimistic about. Generally, you see across the world, tourism has really increased. Tourism has really grown. International flights are all fully booked. Local flights are all fully booked. So as hoteliers, we are personally very optimistic about what we see happening. There's more communication, there's more collaboration between tourism industries. That wasn't there much of it before. And when we now speak, we are now already planning in terms of how we can work together to bring in more tourism. So in summary, the hospitality and the tourism industry has seen the worst. It can't get worse than this. The only way forward is to be able to ensure that we are at the right place at the right time with the right product for the future growth. Because travel is going to increase, travel is going to boom. As Kenya, we are not just competing within ourselves, we are competing with other destinations, other beach destinations worldwide. If we don't position ourselves well, we don't reinvest, we don't look after our products, we don't look after our tourism experiences, all right, it can become a disaster. So yes, as investors, this is what we have to do, and we're looking forward to working with county governments, national governments to try and see how we can grow tourism.
with regards to our preparedness, do you feel, because a number of hotels actually had to lay off some of their staff during the pandemic, are we now in a place that we are seeing hotels hiring people back?
Oh yes, indeed. In the past 6 months, and especially, so if I look at this current year, the 2022, we have had a tremendous year between January to July. Obviously, then in the month of August, things did dip down in terms of tourism. But from September, again, the fact that we conducted the elections so well, everything was so smooth and secured. This has not only given optimism to our local Kenyans, it has also given an optimism and positivity to the international guests. So after the elections, things really did pick up in terms of, especially with the MICE tourism. Leisure tourism started trickling in. In fact, as I was talking to other colleagues in the industry, a lot of them were actually claiming that their numbers have bounced back to 2019 figures, all right, which is a good sign within the international tourism. And when that sort of thing happens, all hotels start recruiting people back again. So as much as I wouldn't say we are there to the pre-COVID levels, but we are nearly there, and we are getting there, and it can only grow.
All right, and speaking of getting there, Pride Inn Hotels has actually reopened their Diani branch. So maybe you can just tell us about this, and also how long has it taken since the last time it was open to the public, or has it been in operation, and what is the aim of this revamp, and what do you intend to achieve?
So yes, indeed, we had during the period of COVID, we did close down the Pride Inn Diani for a while, and we decided, instead of just letting it sit there, we decided to reinvest in our Pride Inn Diani property, and we spent a total of 9 months to be able to refurbish the entire property, to be able to bring it to the modern standards. And we are happy to announce that we have reinvested, and we have built a world-class aqua park, a baby pool, for a main pool also, along with a convention center that we have also built in within the property, along with making sure that we have refurbished our rooms to very modern day standards for the modern day traveler. COVID taught people to be able to maximize on experiences and take time out from themselves. So this is what we have seen, and this is what we are doing at the moment. And we are looking forward to hosting our guests and being able to give them the experiences, and especially with the latest tourism experience that we have brought about within the Pride Inn Diani, which is a state-of-the-art aqua park, a world-class aqua park within Diani facilities.
I will be handing it over back to you now in studio, but first, it's about that time that I need to go and find myself some nice madafu and come and enjoy the beach. But for now, back to you.
All right, Robin Sharma says that starting strong is good, but finishing strong is epic. And for business today, we started strong, which is good, and we are finishing strong, which is more epic. Thank you very much for journeying with us all throughout the year. What a journey this has been. And it's always a pleasure between 3 and 4 to have this conversation on matters business in a fun way, in an interesting way. 2023 will hold even more of this. Better, stronger, funnier, more engaging.